The VIX Volatility Index is coming into key timing again, so it's really important to take a close look at it now to see if it's going to keep moving in its current direction or make a sharp turn. So before we dive into the charts, important reminder that trading and investing can be extremely risky business. Therefore, it's your responsibility to evaluate any information, opinion, advice, or other content contained in this video. So let's head over to my chart of the VIX. All right, so to give us some perspective, I've taken us back up to a weekly chart, okay? So every one of these candlesticks is representing an entire week of action. And you can see that going up to the extreme high that we had at the start of the pandemic, we are now in a range, consolidating now, and it's been for some time. But we are currently, zooming into the more recent action, we are currently sort of hanging out near the boundaries of the lower end of this triangle. Okay, that rising olive green line. And we are also near the middle of an important range from early April. And this type of derivation of support and resistance is something I teach in my 4 zones RSI coverage system. So speaking of 4 zones, that is tying to the RSI power zones, and the RSI power zones down below are attempting to lift out of the bull support power zone. So there's a possibility for the VIX to stabilize here and turn higher. And if that happened, it would mean lower prices ahead for the S&P 500, the Dow, and more. But let's look at it on daily chart before we make any final assessments. All right, so here's my chart of the VIX on a daily time frame, okay, squishing up all that data from the consolidation on the weekly chart. And I'm gonna move some lines out of the way and get our focus into the more recent action. So let's focus in on this most recent action, where we have a couple of forecasts that we came into, all right? So there was intersections of price and time right here in mid-July, and you can see that the VIX did trade down into this zone right here, all right? So that was extremely useful information. Now I'm gonna remove those purple horizontal lines so we can focus in on the current action. All right, after having a little bit of a rebound on the VIX returned lower and it came into a support I had noted, 2132, and we came to 2121, right? Would you have liked to know that 2121 was a support out there? Awesome, then keep taking in my video education here and also dive into my education, because that's where I teach you how to do this, all right? For yourself, not only on the VIX, but any market or time frame. All right, awesome. So I'm gonna move this line out of the way here, and let's just focus in on what's going on in the more recent action around this rising trend line. Okay, the RSI power zones on the VIX daily chart are also attempting to hold the lower ends of the bull zone here. And we got to keep that in mind with the trend of the VIX. Okay, right now the trend of the VIX is down off of this June 13th high. And so when you come in and you look at that action, you can see that the most recent level that's shaping the action is here on July 26th, right? So July 26th is shaping the move down off the June 13th high on the VIX. And we've got a weekday that's unfolding in front of us, going to be wrapping up soon. And now I have this purple vertical line just sitting out there for tomorrow, August 4th. Well, that's because there is yet another new key timing point coming in for August 4th. And it's got an expectation for the VIX to potentially get all the way back down to these April 4th levels, so 1845, 1872, by tomorrow. So what that would mean for the broad market, the S&P, the Dow, the NASDAQ, is even more short-term upside. Now, this isn't super surprising given that we're in earnings season and that's another driver to action. But keep in mind, that is a big move that could potentially unfold. But you've got to watch your intraday levels, you've got to watch support and resistance on your time frame and more to be able to navigate it, okay? So combining the weekly assessment of the candlesticks of the VIX and its momentum, the RSI power zones, along with the daily candlesticks of the VIX and the RSI power zones, I'm seeing room for the VIX to move lower, and that gives us room in the broad market to still continue higher. Again, looking to come back to these old levels here from April 4th, March 30th or so, which have corresponding highs in the broad market. Now, what if that doesn't unfold, right? What if the forecast for this action to play out into tomorrow doesn't occur? What do we need to watch for on the other side? Well, remember we came back here and we selected this July 26th high defining the downtrend on the VIX, well, then that's the level that we need to see a move above in order to suggest that the VIX is refueling to the upside. And if it's refueling to the upside on the VIX, that's not such great news from the broad market, and we could see weakness. So keep an eye on the VIX. Again, the VIX, when it's kind of just, meandering and not really doing anything forcefully in one direction or another yet, that's the time to check in on it, and that's why we're taking a look at it now. Remember to combine this with your trifecta of price, time, and especially momentum, as I have in the 4 zones RSI coverage system, and we'll keep an eye on it and see where it takes us. So remember to subscribe, like, comment, follow, and I'll catch you on the inside. You can sign up for the link to join my tribe and get my hot, timely, actionable updates as soon as I publish right to your inbox.